Welcome to a fresh episode of the Omalivingshow. Long time no see. I know you all have missed me. I'm so sorry for taking all of this time, right? A lot of things have been going on, but I'm back now. How have you all been doing? Did you miss this phenomenal and highly inspiring show? Today on the show, we'll be talking about something that I'm sure you will love. Remember that on Omalivingshow, we talk about everything that concerns the youth, our value system, and the society. This includes things like entrepreneurship, business, health, vices, everything about human empowerment, human capacity, human resources, employment, underemployment, politics, anything that concerns the society, the youth, and our value system. And I need to chip this in. Elections are around the corner. A very interesting time in our lives as Nigerians. Please try to make sure you are part of the electoral processes. Okay. Today on the show, I'll be talking about generating income and building a career as a stay-at-home mom, as a young wife, as a new mom. Money making. Money. Dough. Box, owo, ego, kudi, whatever you call it in your language, is a very vital element as long as human beings and the planet Earth exist. Women, because of the changes, naturally women are not judged by money making, but changes have been occurring, and as such, women have now been saddled with money making, and it has become really imperative that women start to make money. But a lot of women are yet to catch up. A lot of women seem to have become so laid back. You see some women get married and they abandon their careers, they abandon anything related to careers, all because they are now married. It is good to be a homekeeper, but on this episode, I am telling you that you can be a homekeeper and also make money from the comfort of your home. On today's episode, we'll be having someone who has done very well for herself. She's a mom, a wife, and she has built a career off the internet. She popularly goes by the name Six-Figure Mom, right? But her real name is CHICHI Uchendu. She'll be joining me right after the break so that we'll do justice to this topic. I'll be with you. Welcome back. Before the break, I talked about this very impactful, very purposeful, phenomenal woman. You know, she's been doing quite a lot, and I felt she's really apt for the topic of this episode. Chichi does a lot, and she's popularly called Six-Figure Mom. You already know the implication of what that name Six-Figure implies. Exactly. But I'll leave Chichi to, really introduce herself to the audience. Chichi, welcome on the show.
Thank you so much. Thank you for having me.
Now we know you. You're quite a lot. I know that if I start to make an attempt to, introduce you, I might omit the very vital things, right? So, who is Chichi Uchendu?
Thank you so much once again for having me on your platform. My name is Chichi Uchendu. I'm a digital marketing consultant, a wife, a mom of 3, so many things in one actually. I'm the founder of Dynamics Virtual Assistant, known as the Virtual Assistant on social media platforms, where we help business owners, coaches to launch their online courses as well as manage their social media platforms. Then I also founded the popular Six-Figure Mom platform.
That's a very interesting one, and that very one is the reason why I think you're very apt for this topic.
Exactly. Thank you so much. So Six-Figure Mom is actually a platform that God, like a burden that God put inside my heart during the COVID period. So many families were affected, so many things happened that some people can even afford to eat on daily basis, because the whole world was shut down. But do you know the irony of it? That period my business was on 7 figures. I'm telling you, because it's an online business and everybody wants to be online at that particular period. So it became massive. I was like, if you're going to be giving family and friends money all the time, for how long are you going to do it?
It's not sustainable.
Exactly. So for how long? But the knowledge that you have as someone that is a virtual assistant mentor, why don't you start, you a mom, you know the pain family go through. So why don't you teach moms there, so that families can be liberated. My dear, that was how 6 Figure Mom came about, and since then it's been
awesome. You see me smiling from cheek to cheek. Okay, thank you for the wonderful introduction. You've heard that from Chichi herself. Now we'll move on to the topic of this episode. Building a career from home as a woman and generating income. Now, the online space is filled with a lot, Sometimes, someone like me, I like to critically analyze things. Yes. I love to really be sure that something is working, right? I think I've contacted you a lot of times asking you some questions.
Yes,
I know you would have felt, this on my own is too much. But I wasn't asking them to spite you.
Yes,
I was asking them to,
to ensure that.
Thank you. And there is something about psychology. If the person is unsure, if you were unsure, you would have been aggressive.
You're right.
But you took your time and you were insisting that these things work.
Yes.
Now, the name 6 Figure Mom is very, very catchy, very unique too. It's talking about money. It's talking about moms making money. You've already said part of that in your introduction. What would you advise women? Because these are some of the things, there are so many things we struggle with. Exactly. Number one is, as a new mom, many women are getting married every day, and most of them seem to have no plan. Right. What would you say to women generally before we get to moms? Women that are aspiring to get married, they're not gainfully employed, and then they're maybe trying, hustling, doing 1 or 2 things to make ends meet, and then they get married and they are tempted to shut down simply because I am now married. I can no longer juggle this and that. I am pregnant. A baby just came. I have to nurse them. I have to born. What do you advise such women to do?
One of the things that happened to us in this era is being able to still work as a career mom and also being able to perform your duty as a mom. So in this era, you can do both. You can be a career mom and you can still be a perfect mom, working and building your empire right from the comfort of your home. You know why? In this era, you can do everything that you want to do with your phone. You can build a successful business, both your side hustle and passive income, all from the comfort of your home. What you need to do is just to know the skills. Let's take, for instance, I've been in the corporate environment for some years before starting remote jobs and all that. But do you know that some of the terms that we use in the corporate world, we also have them in the online jobs. Let's take, for instance, the personal assistant. We know it as personal assistant in the corporate world. In the online job, it's a virtual assistant. Exactly. So but the thing is that we just need to know, okay, how am I going to apply those skills, the experiences that I already have, to start using it online? That's just simple. So anything that you're doing, or whether you're pregnant or you're just married, what you need to do is find out, what am I good at? That thing that you're good at, you can develop it and start an online business with it. Then if you think, okay, I don't have any skill, I think I'm not good at anything, which I doubt, what you're going to do is learn from someone you admire and start from there.
Wow. Okay, now I love your very precise answer. The next question would be, there are so many skills out there. This morning I read something about the influx of, into tech. Exactly. Everybody wants to do tech now, which is not a bad thing, right? So there are many skills, and we cannot rule out the place of passion, purpose, real interest. Now, off your head, without talking to anyone in particular, knowing that some jobs are more time consuming, even if you're doing them online or you're going to an actual office to do them, there are some jobs that take your time. So which skills would you advise a mom, a wife, who wants to strike balance? By that I mean be good at their job and also be good as a wife and as a mother. Which of these skills would you recommend?
Okay, thank you for that question. Now, I mentioned earlier that for you to be able to thrive online, you need to have some skills. Now, one thing you should also know is that when they mention tech, it's not all the tech that requires coding. I have a program that is tech skills training. Not all the things, when you know how to use graphics, you're into tech. When you know how to use social media, some of the social media platforms, you're into tech, So that has been the issues that we've been facing sometimes, because some people actually, I don't want the stress of coding and all those things. No, there are those small ones that you can do that doesn't involve coding. There are such as you can become a virtual assistant. Now, in virtual assistant, in this part of the world, though that we don't charge hourly, unlike people in other countries,
ours is monthly.
Exactly. But if you want to be charging hourly, which makes things more interesting and more easier for you, you can go and open an account on freelancing platforms such as Fiverr or Upwork. So it makes it that you are in charge of your time. Even when you're working as a virtual assistant in Nigeria here, and you want to charge monthly, you still have the choice to choose people you're going to work with.
Exactly.
You still have to tell them that there is something we call creating boundaries. So you tell them, this is my time. Exactly. I work from so. It's
dependent on you.
Exactly.
You have the right to negotiate. You have the right to choose.
Exactly.
And all of that.
Exactly.
Okay. A lot of people have asked me, Oma, where are some platforms? I teach, I coach, right?
Yes.
But I'm mainly on human performance, right? So I don't, and then soft skills. Yes. So I don't teach coding, I don't teach all those kind of things. But some people have asked me, and I would like for you to talk about this. Okay? Where can young moms who want to make something out of their lives, go to train? Do you train?
Okay. Thank you for the question. Yes, I do train people. I train them as a virtual assistant to own their agency. One thing is this, there's this talk, or there's this say that mentors are cheat code. When I started, there are some things that I wish there was someone to guide me. But when you have a mentor, it makes things easier. So it's going to be a shortcut for you. You don't need to pass through those errors and
make all those mistakes.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And if you say, okay, I want to go and start using search engines and all that, it's going to take you time. Some information are not there. They are not there. So I have training where it's a practical steps, 3 weeks training, and within that 3 weeks, you're going to start your agency, or if you want to do the tech skills, you can also start a freelancing business. So it makes it easier. Pass through the training and you have skills. You have skills that will help you to start your own business as a freelancer or as a virtual assistant. Without you having the knowledge, trust me, it can be frustrating.
Yes.
If you don't have people to get, that's why when people open their business, when I started, I have people, I think we're about 3 or 5 in that group, but trust me, out of those people, I was only one. I have the passion. Things work when you know that, okay, I want this thing to become my main hustle.
It's a story.
Exactly. So when it fails, remember that some people are actually looking at you to know if you're going to fail or you're going to succeed. So,
okay, now talking about hustle, that's a very interesting one, because it was going to be the next question, but you made it easier. So hustle, a lot of people want to build careers, that will give them an identity. You have an identity. But a lot of young people don't have an identity, regardless of the fact that they earn money. But they cannot confidently call what they do a career. Is there any provision for branding for some of these people, teaching them how to properly brand themselves, structure themselves, to make that business that they are doing, even if they're just doing it as a sole proprietor, as a one man, to give them that facelift that will make them measure up with their counterparts in very organized organizations?
Yes, there are so many processes, when you start a business, especially online. Some people will think, okay, I don't need to have a registered company, which is not true. People trust you when you have a process, when you have a business name. You don't just start your business and say, okay, no, I don't want to have a business name, it's an online. No. It is going to end in premium sales. Apart from you not even registering your business, you're going to lose clients because some people will not trust you sending money to your account. Exactly. Some people will not trust you sending money to your personal account. And another one is that you might end up wanting to go and register and find out that someone else is using your name. So it's going to be a wasted effort.
No security, no identity.
So I usually advise them, if you know you're going to start this business, one, write out the name you want to use, what people will call you, and go and register it. that is number one step to your progress or to your success.
Yeah.
If you think, okay, I don't have money to register now, just have it at the back of your mind that within the first 3 months, please go and register. It's very important. That is your brand that you're building. If you don't have it, someone will go behind you and register their name, and it's going to be very difficult. I've encountered several issues like that. So
I agree with you. I agree with you. So now you said another thing very interesting, because me too, I want to make money. You said during the COVID, your money was running in seven figures, right? So can you share with the audience the actual things you were doing, the platforms that you use that work? If they try to use it and it doesn't work, they will drag you. And tell them confidently these platforms. And of course, you need to come and train with her for you to be able to use them. But would like to know, how did you go about that?
Okay, thank you for that question. Now, as a social media manager, because during that COVID period, what I was even doing is page management. There are several platforms. LinkedIn, I'm on LinkedIn. I help businesses to manage their LinkedIn accounts.
For real?
Yes. Now I also do Pinterest, Instagram, Facebook, and Facebook community. Now, when I started it was just a solopreneur, one-man business. But as time goes on, I have so many people working with me. Now I have staff working with me. So it makes it easier. I train my staff to act as if I'm the one talking to the client. So it makes everything easier. You can structure your business, and apart from the Nigerian clients, I have foreigners that I think
that's one of the advantages of tech and social media.
Once you can be able to build trust. My first international client was like, my husband said, I'm not going to pay you full. I don't trust Nigerians. I'm not going to. I said, no problem, man. No problem. What we're going to do is this. You will pay 50% upfront, because in our services, you have to pay 100% before we start, So she said, okay, no problem. She paid first week, and we did 2 weeks for her. Since that day till now, as I'm talking to you, she's still our client.
So you've been able to retain and
and she even also referred us to some of her friends.
Wow.
I'm telling you, one of the things about working remotely is that you'll be able to structure your finances. You control it. Because you will tell the person, this is what I'm charging, and this is what I'm charging. You have a structured income. Since that COVID till now, we are booked every month. And I said to myself, only you, the skills that you have, the skills I have is so much that only me and my agency can't handle all the clients. So that's why I'm teaching it. It's a process, and we go through practical steps. You can't, the things I'm teaching my skills, expertise, and experience. These are the things you can't find on search engine.
You can't.
So that's the experience. If you want to become a virtual assistant, and there's something that people usually mix together, a social media manager is just one aspect of a virtual assistant. So being a virtual assistant,
just a role.
Exactly.
Though it can also be a job on its own.
Yes.
But it's a role under.
Exactly. So being a virtual assistant gives you the opportunity to have diverse areas. Exactly. And also make more money.
Okay, this one requires a specific answer. Okay. You said your training is for 3 weeks.
Yes.
Yeah. So how much does your training cost?
Okay, we'll have the beginners and we'll have the intermediates, ranging from 25,000 to 100,000.
Depending on
you want.
Exactly. It's been nice having you on the show. Meanwhile, thank you for buying our book. She bought a copy. She launched it actually, and we're very grateful that you're a friend of the Omalivingshow brand. This is to formally inform you that we'll be preparing for the 5th edition of the Omalivingshow Unsung Heroes Award and Entrepreneurship Conference. It's usually in November, and we would like you to be a big part of it, because what you do is entrepreneurship. And the last question would be, do you have a community? All right. Thank you for coming on the show.
Thank you so much for having me.
It was nice having Chichi on this show today. I'll be back right after the break. Wow, it's one thing to have a guest, is another thing to have a guest that is really filled with the knowledge of what the subject is. Chichi, 6-figure mom. She got me thinking. Making 6 figures during the COVID-19. It made me start thinking, what was I doing? Chichi made 7 figures during the COVID-19. You heard from her, you've heard about her process, how she started, how she's been able to expand, how she's been able to brand herself, how she's been able to employ people that now work from her, from being a solopreneur to being a full-fledged entrepreneur that commands lots of money in a well-structured business. Women, that should encourage you. Times have changed. We need to keep up. We need to catch up. We need to make money to support our husbands. It's been a very interesting time on this episode. Please, let us try to build a career, take advantage of the social media, and make lots of money so that we can buga. You know what I mean? Till I come back next time, my name remains Marilyn Oma Anonna.
Smoky bigger boss. You dey do me something. Tell me when you are ready. I want to give you something. You know so romantic. I can be a bouncer. You are my fantasy. You dey give me ginger. Can I be the one that will give you all you need? Take your time, I will